So who's your husband?
Brian.
And where did you meet him?
At a friend's wedding. I used to work with her. I can't remember. I know we had a dance. A year later we were married. Oh, we got twins. I said, go away. She said, no, there's two, definitely two. Two heads, two spines. When he come back, he said, I'm on my way now. He'd phoned me. He said, I'm on my way now. I said, oh, it's a house in Ormsby. He said, I know, I've been to see it. He said, it's all right, we can go back up and have a look. So we did, and we just loved it. East Bank Road, 5 East Bank Road.
How Dad built that wall. Do you remember the little bricks he had up? Yeah. Remember the wall? And we talked. Got French doors.
Oh. That was the place I always wanted. We used to live near Thornby and look up Ormsby Bank.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, I'd love to live up there. You couldn't have wished for anywhere better for to bring kids up. And I had Mark as well now by this time. Oh no, that was just straightforward. And I think to find out when I had him it was a boy, I thought it was perfect. 2 girls and a boy, you know. And it was brilliant for him because he had 3 mums.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because they were 12
yeah.
by the time I had Mark. So
oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, am I getting on it? Would someone come out and complain?
Grandad Jim, your granddad's dad.
Yeah.
That's my mum. As you know, Grandad. And that's Greta, Jim's wife.
Yeah.
Grandad's mum. And see what I mean? She had Shirley, then the next year she had Brian. No, she went a bit longer there. She had 2 years between. Oh no, nearly 3, wasn't it? So if Kevin was born in 41, what is the age between Kevin and Raymond? In light years? As the crow flies?
In total, Jim and Greta had Shirley, Brian, Kevin, Raymond, Maureen, Barry and Pamela.
Where did Shirley and Brian meet?
Where did they meet?
Yeah.
Like Emma just said there, we think it was at a dance.
Ah.
On the 28th of March 1959, Brian Smith, 22, married Shirley Sadler, 21.
He's very quiet. He's a quiet lad. He's not, he's very, you know, within himself.
Right.
All the time. Suppose he wasn't the type Shirley would have married.
What about Kevin and Jean?
Kevin and Jean, where did they meet? I was driving the buses for a beeline, and
and he met her in Exton. She used to live in Exton.
Right. And Jean was fussy about money, wasn't she?
Oh, yes. Jean the Purse. She used to have his life. His wages went to her and none of his.
Oh, God.
And he got nothing. It used to be so embarrassing. I don't know whether I told you, whenever there was a family do and we went out, she wouldn't even give him the money before they went out. She'd pass it over the table. And father used to go bloody mad. I don't think he ever dared buy around.
Oh, what did Jean pass away from?
Jean, I think it was a heart attack, son. Ray married, what they call Ray's wife, Roseanne they called his wife. Worked in ICI, Ray.
Right.
In the plumbing department.
Okay.
His grandson's a jockey and his son's a jockey.
All right.
But I think it was more near London way.
Yeah.
Of course, Barry and Kev, two different people.
What about Barry's wife?
Barry's wife, Christine.
Right, Christine. Wasn't there an issue between Jean and Barry?
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, Barry bought a car for his wife, but it was put on the company business.
Right.
Right, instead of it being separate, which he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. And most of everybody in the family would have just took no notice of it, but Jean found out. Of course, there was Helen over it.
Right, I get you.
Kevin who let us know that Barry was in hospital. Yeah, we were going to the hospital. I forgot who we were going to see. And Kevin was coming out.
Right.
And he said, did you know how Barry's in here? We said, no, you see. So then we went to see him. And when we went to see your granddad, is that our bride? Is that Miss? Is that our bride? Yes. You know, but yeah, all the family were there. It was so sad.
Was it cancer?
Yes. When we lived in East Bank,
Yeah.
and the split up was happening, Pam come to our house. She was always at our house. Come to our house crying and one thing and another. And she'd said to Cole, come. She'd rung him and said, come to our Chris's.
Yeah.
She was there, she was upset. So he came. Because as soon as he got there, she starts to tell him, this one had said that, and the other one had said the other. And she wasn't happy, so she said to him, look, get down there. And so Cole went down just to try and pacify everybody and sort it all out.
Yeah.
Well, he just knocked at the door, no come to the door, but Ray, what? Hit him right in the face.
So they didn't even give him a chance?
No.
Okay, now.
No, but that was Ray.
Yeah.
He always tried. Whatever he did, he was always the big man.
Right. Was Greta and Jim's marriage happy, do you think?
Well, I think it was one of them at the time.
Yeah.
There was that many kids. You know, mother was always pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, she had 8 or 9, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So it was always work hard and,
Right.
you know, he was very, very stiff upper lip. He didn't like anybody going with any problems or,
Yeah.
you know, any of the neighbours finding out your business.
Right.
You know, business, your home life was your home life. It had nothing to do with anybody else.
Right, so he kept
You
very
know,
private.
proper old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grandad was very poorly.
Yeah.
What was it your dad died of, Bri?
Bone cancer.
Bone cancer, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he was very poorly. When we went to see him once in hospital, and then he came out and he died in home, I think it was.
Jim, James Joseph Sadler, was born in 1916 and his mother's maiden name was Ibbotson. So a Sadler to Ibbotson marriage is Ernest Johnson Sadler married Caroline Ibbotson in September 1905 in the village of Great Ousburn. On the 1911 census, you've got Ernest Johnson Sadler. He's the head of the family and he's 28, and his job is at the cement works. And then you've got his wife, Caroline, and she's 27. Then you've got the kids, Arthur, who's 4, Fred, who's 3, and Ernest, who's 2. And he signed the census at 41 Worsey Street in North Ormsby. In total, Ernest and Caroline had Arthur, Fred, Ernest, Nellie, Thomas, our Jim, William, and Annie.
On March the 3rd, 1928, Arthur Sadler, 21, married Ivy Lyons, 19. They were both single and they got married at the parish of North Ormsby in Middlesbrough.
I can't remember at all.
Because they lived in Canisbrook Avenue.
Yeah, but didn't she die before Artie?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm sure.
Auntie Ivy, she must have weighed about 40 stone, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, we
50
run
stone.
about him in the park, run about him.
Massive she was.
Oh, you'd have loved to show.
She sat in the armchair. You couldn't see the armchair.
Everybody came to her.
Yeah.
It was like a magnet, you know.
Yeah. She wouldn't have a punch.
You'd have loved her.
Punch?
Yeah, she hit me one day, and I threw her up on the wall. And I said something to her, and she said, come here. I walked up to her, she bloody hit me with the back of her hand.
Hello?
Hello, is that Linda?
Yeah?
Hi, it's Sean Sadler from Middlesbrough.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, alright. Yeah, okay, you haven't seen them in years, have you, Grandma?
No, I've seen him in donkeys, yeah. Well, there was Clive.
Yeah,
He got killed in Korea.
right.
He was a fire operator in the army, and he got killed in the Korean War. Yeah, Iris, Clive. Clive was killed in Korea.
Yeah,
Gordon, Eric, Alan,
yeah.
Stuart, and me.
And Marjorie as well.
Oh, Marjorie, God, I forgot Marjorie. I don't want to go. Iris was a trapeze artist.
When
She was a trapeze artist.
in the circus. In the circus.
Yeah. She went over there to Australia when I was 15.
Right.
And I didn't see her anymore until she came back home to find us all. Oh God, I can't remember how old I was. I know my youngest daughter, she's 31, and when Iris came back over, Shannon was 2.
Right.
So I'll tell you how long ago it is since we'd seen her.
Yeah.
And when she went back home, it was practically a year to the day that she came to find us all, that she had a massive heart attack and died.
Oh, so it was that quick.
It was that quick, yeah. Yeah.
And he mentioned Gordon and Eric as well. They've passed, haven't they?
Yeah, they've gone. Yeah, there's only me, Stuart, and Alan left now.
Yeah.
Alan's, oh God, hang on, he's 10 years older than me. So he'll be coming up 79.
Right. Is Alan the one in Australia?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He's in Perth, he's in Perth.
and Stuart's in.
And Stuart's in America, he's in Texas.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know
He
that.
just sold his business and retired.
Right. What was Arthur and Ivy like?
Oh, fantastic. Oh, God, fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better set of parents.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Granddad's got good memories of them as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we had some good time. Well, Brian, is that your granddad?
Yeah, that's my granddad, yeah.
Yeah, well, you ask your granddad about one night, it was New Year's Eve, he used to come round to my mum's house. And the table used to be set and everything with cakes and God knows what. and they come early, and my mum wouldn't let them in, so we were throwing blankets out the window to keep them warm and that.
Right.
She wouldn't let them in because it was before midnight.
Right.
Yeah, we've had some good times with Brian and Christine. They lived in Farmhouse Avenue.
Yeah.
Well, they used to use the house, for the Labour Party.
Yeah.
They used to do all the paperwork and that in their house. And,
right.
All of the Labour Party.
And then they moved to...
Carisbrook Avenue.
That's it, Carisbrook, yeah, near the cemetery.
Yeah.
Are your mum and dad buried together, by the way?
Yes, yeah. My dad was buried first, and then my mum was buried on top.
Yeah, that was it, because I've seen the headstone like years ago in Thorntree.
Oh, it's actually got a headstone now, is it?
Didn't it have one?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's Grandad's uncle.
Get a picture of it for him.
Yeah.
On May 29th, 1928, Fred Sadler, 20, married Margaretta Blowers, 19. They were both single and they also got married at the parish of North Ormsby in Middlesbrough.
Stan, Margaret, she was yours. But what they call the lass, Eileen.
Oh, Billy.
It was Billy, yeah. Hello, is that Sean?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Hiya, yeah, it's Sue.
Hiya, Sue, you alright? Is it your grandparents, Fred and Madge?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, you sent me a letter. Jeffrey sent me a letter a couple of years ago, didn't he, with photographs?
He did, yeah. We got as many together as we could. Well, they lived next door to the police station. There was a police box out, in Robert's Farm, Marshall Avenue, where the shops are.
Yeah.
Well, there was a police box there, and they lived in the house behind that, Parsons Avenue.
Right.
And it got blew up during the war.
All right.
I've always been told that the house was bombed, and I was told that from being very small.
Yeah.
And I remember my grandma talking to me about it. But, because, like they said, part of the roof came down, and there were, I think my dad, who, he would have been maybe a teenager then, he was trapped under the beams. And Eileen, who still lives in the house, was only a baby.
Right.
And she was in a cot, and she was covered in soot. And my granddad was home on leave, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trapped under the beams. And I've always been told that. But, they had to move out while it got rebuilt.
Yeah.
On April the 8th, 1941, the Luftwaffe attacked Cargo Fleet Iron and Steel Works. After turning their planes to head home for Germany, they dumped their remaining payload of 2 high explosive bombs on the corner of Palliser Avenue and Marshall Avenue at 12 minutes past midnight, destroying 4 houses. Fred's house was completely rebuilt after the war, and Eileen still lives here today.
Eileen sent me this. What's the situation with Paul?
Paul?
Yeah.
Well, that's, everybody used to say, but I think it was Margaret's son.
The daughter Margaret.
Yeah, but I think it was classed as Andy Madge's son, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think she cover-up job.
Is Paul Margaret's son?
Yeah, it's one of those
Cover-ups.
like little family secrets
Yeah.
that everybody knows about but nobody talks about.
I thought so.
Yeah. My grandma and granddad adopted him.
Right.
And it was never discussed. But yeah, he is Margaret's son.
Right, okay.
Oh God, yeah, it was all hush hush.
Yeah. June 15th, 1929, David William Thomas, 24, married Nellie Sadler, 17. They were both single and they got married at the parish of North Ormsby in Middlesbrough. David's a stores keeper living at 26 Chester Street and Nellie's living at 5 Short Street.
I mean, I remember Nellie
Yeah.
and Di, because they lived over the road on Pallister Avenue. I do remember that. I mean, I remember being like really lovely. She was nice,
Yeah.
and I remember going in and because my grandma and granddad had a daughter that died of diphtheria.
Is this Audrey?
Yeah, that's
Right.
Audrey.
Yeah.
And I always remember every time I saw Nellie that she always used to say to my grandma, "Oh God, how do you stand it? Because Susan's the image of Audrey." And you know when something just sticks in your mind.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, is that Jimmy?
It is, yes.
Hi Jimmy, it's Sean again.
Yeah.
And your mum and dad, Nellie and David.
Dave, yeah. David went to Australia and he took the kids.
When did he go to Australia?
It was exactly March 1965.
Oh, so he was there quite a while then.
Oh, yeah. Well, Trevor died.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah, he died, Trevor. And Dave has the one that lives in Australia.
Yeah. And Alwyn?
When she died, she married Harry Jukes. He had a grocery shop in Forest Avenue, in Marsh Avenue.
Oh, so he actually ran the shop.
That him and his dad. And she used to work in the shop then.
Oh, that's how she met him.
Yeah. Harry was bad he was in hospital and Owen couldn't look after himself, so they went for respite.
Yeah.
And Harry just decided that he'd had enough and he just laid in bed and went, you know.
Yeah, really quick sort of thing.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
That wasn't it, that's not long.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat at all, you know.
Yeah. And did David have Alzheimer's?
Yeah. David and Trevor did. Owen had vascular dementia.
Right.
When I was born in Ings Avenue,
Right.
and then they moved, when they were renovating the houses,
Yeah.
they moved to Pallister Avenue.
Yeah. You were just across the road from Fred and Madge, weren't you?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. What year did your mum pass away? I can't remember.
November 99.
99, right.
Yeah, because I retired the same month from work, you know. Uncle Tig, that was old Edward. He got killed in India. He was killed in India.
Because I can't find him at all.
He called him Tig.
And I presume that's a nickname.
No, I never actually met Tiggy.
I don't know who it is. I don't know actually his proper name. Everyone keeps talking about him.
Well, we found out what Tiggy's Ernest.
Right.
That was his, you know, after Grandad.
Yeah. So,
He died in Lucknow in India
right.
with dysentery. But Mum was always talking about him.
Right.
What do they call him now? It was Tiggy Touch Nothing. I don't know why. Never found out why.
Okay.
You know, that's what when Mum talked about him. That's what she used to call him.
Tiggy Touch Nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
But his actual name is Ernest.
Thomas died as a baby when he was 2 years old. Then it was Jim, and then it was Bill.
Bill was always full of life, wasn't he, Bri? Uncle Bill. Always full of life, always cracked a joke, didn't he? And he'd walk in a house,
Yeah.
and it would just light up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think Dad couldn't. That wasn't Dad's cup of tea. Hello, is that Sean?
Yes, it is. This is Jenny.
Yes.
Hi, nice to speak to you. Violet was the first wife.
Yes.
On the 23rd of March 1940, William Sadler, 20, married Violet Proctor, 19. They were both single and they got married at the parish of North Ormsby in Middlesbrough.
I think she died when they were, well, I think Wendy was about 5.
On the 12th of July 1947 at 2 Gibson Street in North Ormsby, Violet Sadler, she's female and she's passing away at 26 years old. She's the wife of Bill Sadler, a process chemical man. She died of tuberculosis.
You know, so he got married fairly quickly after that. Yeah.
Where did he meet your mum?
He lived next door to my mother's sister. After my mum died, she died fairly young. She was 54.
Right.
And my dad, I think, was a bit younger than my mum. And she was disabled to some extent. And he always said, or at least my mother apparently had said to him, you must make sure you look after Thelma if anything happens to me.
Right.
So they got married.
Okay.
Again, within a few months, you know, it was very quick.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying, you know, well, she might have said look after her, but she didn't mean marry her, you know. So that didn't go down very well. And then I think their marriage lasted about 7 years.
Right.
And then they split up.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
And he married again after that.
Yeah, yeah. Joan was the last one, wasn't she?
Joan, yeah.
Yeah, what was she like?
She was okay. I mean, she didn't really want him to have very much to do with us. He was a lovely chap. He was very good looking.
Yeah.
And you know, he sort of drew attention, you know, to himself. But he just wanted an easy life. Having gone through the war as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and he'd been injured and.
Annie married David Thomas Bowen in 1947.
Yes, Annie. I discovered her body.
Did you?
She couldn't have left our mums.
Yeah.
She only lived just down Turford. She just went home on the night, walked down with the dog, you know.
Yeah.
And but we didn't hear anything more, and we couldn't get any answer at the doors. So I had to break it's a small centre window.
Right.
And there she was. She was just sat in the chair and gone, passed away.
God.
Tommy just died 3 weeks before.
Yeah, her husband had died just 3 weeks before.
What was your granddad like?
Grandad?
Yeah, Pop.
Oh, yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, he found out I was smoking and he made me chew a really great lump of water or tobacco.
What, to stop you?
Yeah? Yeah, because you bent your bloody mouth out when you were chewing it. His pipe, I remember his pipe and his moustache.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, God, my dad's dad, Grandad.
Yeah.
Grandad Sadler.
Yeah.
Oh, he was lovely.
Yeah, it's a granddad.
Absolutely lovely. I actually got a picture of him in my wedding book.
Yeah.
And he cried because I wanted my photograph took with him.
No.
And he cried. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I remember, like, my granddad
Yeah.
and Di, which would have been Nellie's husband.
Right.
And, like, great-granddad, Grandad Pop, they used to call him.
Yeah.
They all used to go to the club.
You remember Pop, don't you?
Oh yes, yeah. Used to take his porridge up for him. When Grandma died, he married the lass next door.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying, yeah. Yeah, didn't you Jim and him fall out?
Yeah, they fell out because he got married again.
Well, isn't he allowed to be happy?
He's getting too happy, I think.
I know he got married again when he was really quite elderly.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But apparently my granddad's dad fell out with him because he got remarried again.
He got married again, you see. He got married to a lady called Ada.
Yeah.
They lived in a bungalow. Oh, and she was absolutely fantastic.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, he lived number 10 and she lived number 8.
Yeah. On the 25th of February 1961, Ernest Johnson Sadler, 78, married Ada Jameson, 74. They were both widows. Ernest is a retired labourer living at 10 Villa Road, and Ada is living at 4 Villa Road, next door.
Ernest died on the 31st of December 1973, aged 91-year-old.
What was your gran like?
She was lovely with the grandma.
Yeah.
Actually, we always up there now, so even on messages, go up the Campaign Avenue, she's the one that's out from the shops.
Yeah.
I wasn't so keen on his wife.
Why?
I don't know. She was a funny old fart. she was one of my mum. She told me a few things. Like if my mum and dad's kids were playing out or something, and somebody else from the family, their kids were playing out, she'd walk past our lot and go to the others. She had no time for ours.
Okay.
No time at all.
That's a bit odd. Do you remember your grandma?
Oh yeah, Grandma Caroline.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was right to death of her.
Well, how come?
She had no time for you.
Yeah.
You know, our mum would say, right, we're going up to see your nana, you know. I've got somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
Caroline is his first wife, you know, my grandma.
Yeah.
She was, I don't know what was going on with her.
Right.
Didn't speak much. I never saw her smile. She was quite severe.
Right.
Yeah. And when my dad and my mum got married, Wendy and Sharon were supposed to be staying with them.
Right.
And the day that they got married, she rolled the pyjamas up and sent them off down to my mother's mother, my nana's,
Yeah.
and said, you belong to that family now. Have you ever been able to found out if there's any Sadlers still left in the Borough Bridge area?
I'm just coming into Borough Bridge now. Look what I've just found. Ernest Johnson Sadler's dad is Arthur Johnson Sadler, and he's deceased, and Arthur's job was a farm labourer. On August the 3rd, 1882, Arthur Johnson Sadler, 19, married Eliza Vester, 19. They were both single and they got married in the parish church of Aldborough, near Boroughbridge. Right, I'm just on the way to Aldborough now. It's just outside Boroughbridge. And this is where Arthur and Eliza got married. On Arthur's marriage certificate, his father is missing. Now this would suggest that Arthur is illegitimate. However, Eliza's father's there, and he's called John Vester, and he's an innkeeper. So on the 1891 census at the White Swan pub...
So you're John Vester, who's the head, and he's male, and he's an innkeeper still.
He's also 67. And you've
Okay.
got
Ellen.
Ellen Vester, wife, she's 61, looking at that.
It says she's a fucking male.
Married.
Oh.
Arthur Sadler is the head, his male is
No, he's married.
He's married. He's 27 and he's a general labourer.
Sylvia.
Eliza?
Oh, Eliza, okay, sorry.
We've just read out the fucking document!
She's a wife, she's married, she's not a male, she's 28.
Ernest Sadler is a son, he's 8, he's a scholar.
And that is...
Jehovah's Witness? No, it's a son, so that's
John.
be John. Or Jonathan.
Is it A in the end?
Yeah, John A.
Son. 7, scholar.
So therefore, Pop grew up around his grandparents running the White Swan pub.
He used to work in, great granddad used to work in a pub. Ted remembers one night he was walking home with the dray horse or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether he'd had a drink himself or whatever, and that he always used to joke this dray horse knew its way home without him.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I was just always intrigued because obviously he must have had family there.
Having a mooch round the back. Oh, seen that old building?
Oh, very nice.
In total, Arthur and Eliza had Pop, then his brother John, Fred, and Nellie, who all lived into adulthood.
Hello?
Hello, is that Grace?
Yes.
Hi, it's Sean from Middlesbrough.
Hello, sir.
Hi,
I've been waiting for you to ring.
Dudley's granddad was John.
Brother, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think my granddad and Dudley are second cousins.
He was a tall chap,
At all.
well built,
Yeah.
right broad.
Yeah, I think they all are quite broad, aren't they?
Yeah. I met him 2 or 3 times. We'd go to Borough Beach and see my granddad and grandma.
Right, is that where they lived?
That's where they lived. Number 3, Harris Terrace. My dad was born at Middlesbrough. Birth certificate, it's Middlesbrough. And my granddad worked in the cement works at Middlesbrough.
So did Ernest and John come to Middlesbrough together?
They must have done.
Right.
They must have stayed there.
Then they came back to Borough Beach, my granddad, with...
Yeah, he's the different way. He came back, he didn't stay, did he?
That's right, yeah.
And that's why you're there and I'm here.
But I don't know where the daughters came. I had 2 daughters.
Right, yeah, there's quite a few of your dad's siblings, isn't there?
Yeah. No, Harold was the eldest.
Right.
I think it was my dad. Then Tommy. And then Ernest. Yeah, that's him, Ernest, Uncle Mick. They used to call him, he was christened Ernest, but he was nicknamed Mick.
Yeah.
So you don't know why he was called Mick?
I don't know.
My granddad gets called Mick all the time, and he's Brian.
Yeah. Have you heard that story?
About Arthur? Because he's illegitimate, isn't he?
Yeah.
This story is quite confusing. To go back into Arthur's side of the family, we have to start at the beginning with his dad, John Johnson.
Was called John Johnson, and he was born in 1811 in Kirby Hill.
Yeah.
He married Anne Sadler.
Yeah. So this is where Anne and John Johnson got married.
His occupation in 1841, he was age 30, and he was a carpenter. Yeah, in 1851, he was a master carpenter, employing 1 apprentice.
John Johnson, he's a head, he's married, he's 50. A farmer of...
13-year-old.
No. Farmer of 102 acres employing 1 man and 2 boys.
Anne! That's not Anne! No, it isn't.
Actually, do you know what? Do you know what? It actually makes a lot of sense now. So it's Anne Johnson, she's a wife, again married, she's 49, no job.
The niece
No,
is
it's a niece.
female.
Sarah.
Yeah, so
So she's the niece.
30, is that 30?
No, she's... Oh yeah, 30.
30, yeah.
She's a...
Southern maid, housemaid.
nice shit.
And died.
Our wife, she was an invalid. That's why this Sarah went to look after her.
So 1869. Fucking hell, that was quick. The next year. It was April the 24th, 1869, where John Johnson and Sarah
No, they didn't look
Sarah Sadler.
Ew.
So the widower.
Ew, and the niece. Ew.
It's his wife's niece.
Yeah, but still though, I'm growing up. It's still growing up in the family as a niece. You don't fucking do that.
She kept it in the family.
Sarah Sadler was the niece of his wife.
So were they having an affair basically?
Yeah.
That fucking incest bitch.
No.
Not blood related.
Well, not biologically incest, but you should know better.
But by married to related, and as soon as she died, it's like gone.
While his wife was still alive,
Yeah.
he had a son to Sarah Sadler.
Yeah. So Anne was still alive when he was having...
See, he was having sex with the niece before his bloody wife was dead. No, that's not right.
And she gave birth in that
That's
happened?
not right. I wonder if his wife knew. Did his wife know?
I don't know.
I've got this vision of him, like wee Willie Winky, going along this old farmhouse in London with a candle, with his nightcap and his nightshirt.
And getting into her bed?
Yeah. That's when I look at it, because I always have this vision of, you know.
He should know better than to sleep with his wife's niece.
I know, you'd wonder, well, you wouldn't think she, but there again, but she was only young compared to him.
I know, maybe she just liked him.
Yeah, or maybe, I don't know whether he forced himself on her, or maybe he threatened she'd be out of work like they used to.
Yeah, maybe she felt
You know,
obliged.
these stately homes that the masters used to have offspring, didn't they, to the maids and that, so...
I know.
So really, none of us should be called Sadler. Even you should be called Johnson.
Yeah, it's just a fluke, isn't it? I mean, if they weren't even sleeping together, we wouldn't be here.
That is the skeleton in the cupboard. Every family tree seems to have one.
Yeah.
On the 11th of February 1868, at the Farmhouse, Providence Lodge, Anne Johnson, she died, and she's 56 years old, and she's a wife of John Johnson. And it says that she died, and she was found dead of heart disease, and there was an inquest held into her death.
Right, hello. I got the inquest for Anne Johnson in the post this morning. And I've just been going over it, and it basically says that they got together like a bunch of people from the village to have the inquest from the town council. To the Chief Constable of the North Riding of County York, to all constables, parishes, peace officers in the said riding, especially to William Buckless, Constable of the town of Langthorpe. And it goes on to all these people have signed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people have signed it. It says a witness is Sarah Sadler. And then obviously she gives her version of events at what happened. Sarah Sadler of Providence Lodge, Langthorpe, summoned that on Monday night last about quarter to something. I sent a letter boy up at 8:30 and called out that she was dead. Then went upstairs and found her laid on the floor and quite dead. It says, to the coroner of North Allerton Ward, I hereby notice the body of a woman about 56 years is lying dead at... Deceased was spoke to by her husband, John Johnson, about 7 a.m. and at 8:30 a.m. was found dead on the floor with part of her clothes on. If the death was a sudden one, had previously been attended by a medical man, not attendance by a medical man. So,
Sarah and John had a kid together behind Anne's back, and Anne has heart disease and collapses dead. Make of that what you will. John Johnson died in 1881 at Providence Lodge. He had no children with his surname with Sarah, however his son Arthur and his grandson Ernest, Pop, carried on his surname in their middle name, Johnson. Pop never met his granddad John, however he would have met his nana Sarah, who after John died moved back to her home village of Aldborough. Uncle Artie, Uncle Fred and Uncle Tiggy would have met their nana Sarah as babies. However, she died in Aldborough in 1913, aged 82. Going a further generation back through Sarah's side of the family.
My father's name and surname.
That's James. Joiner?
Yeah.
Or Joiner?
In 1825, James Sadler married Esther Athea at St Andrews in Aldborough. Are buried in Aldborough Cemetery, however I cannot find a grave at all. However, I did find a headstone for their grandparents, Esther Athea's mum and dad. My great, 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 great grandparents.
I found him.
George Athea of Craighill, which is a village, who died May 18th, 1844, age 66 years. Also Elizabeth, wife of the above, departed this life June 3rd, 1862, aged 81 years.